So the story is told by a Rebbe. I think it's in South Africa, and he knew somebody that he had business acquaintance, and this person asked for a blessing. He asked if the Chabad emissary, if he would ask the Rebbe for a blessing, for a blessing, and the Rebbe said for his whatever for himself, whatever for himself, and he said also, does the Rebbe bless non-Jews also? So he said yes, as far as he knows. He says, well, my wife is ill, she doesn't feel good, and she's not Jewish, but I would like. So he said, good, we'll send a letter to the Rebbe. This is in the time when they used to send, I guess, faxes, or maybe even before that. Must be before that, because he had to wait a while for the letter to come in. Everything was by mail. Sometimes it was like a super emergency. People would call on the phone, and then that was a whole story in itself. You had to wait hours and hours. Anyway, so he wrote in. So the emissary there, the Chabad representative, said, sure, send your wife's name in with her father's name. That's the way it always was. That's what the Rebbe told us, that when you ask a blessing for a Jew, you go his first name, her first name, and the mother's first name. But for a non-Jew, you put the person's name and the father's name. Ask for a blessing. And so he said, okay. So he sent in, and he got a phone call. That's right. He got a phone call 5 days later, 10 days later. And the Rebbe, and it was Rabbi Chadakov. The Rebbe Chadakov was one of the Rebbe's most, closest secretaries. So he said, the Rebbe wants to know, you requested a blessing for your wife. He wants to know also her mother's name. So he said, but my wife is not Jewish. And I thought that in Chabad, we only do, for a non-Jew, you write the father's name. So Rabbi Chadakov said, listen, I don't know. I'm not a Rebbe. I'm just relaying to you what the Rebbe said. The Rebbe said he wants her mother's name. And go and ask her what her mother's name was. So he went and he said, what is your mother's name? So why do you want to know? He said, because I asked for the Lubavitcher Rebbe a blessing for you, and I asked if he blesses also non-Jews. And he said, yes. And so non-Jews, you write the person's name and their father's name, which that's what I did. But he requested your mother's name. So what is your mother's name? I mean, I never met your mother. I don't know. What is your mother's name? So she said, this is what this Rebbe said. He wanted to know my mother's name. Yes. Said, this man must be a very, very holy man. I said, why do you say that? He said, well, I didn't tell you, and I didn't tell anybody else. And my mother almost didn't tell me. But she said that she's Jewish. My mother is Jewish. My mother went through the Holocaust. She was just young when it happened. And she survived. And she was brought up in a monastery, in a nunnery, whatever it is. 1 second. Let's see what this is over here. What's going on here? Here it is. Yeah. So she brought up in a monastery, and she met a nice man. Afterwards, she got out. She met a nice man, and they got married. And I don't even think she told her husband that she's Jewish. I don't think so. And they got married. My mother got married to this nice man, and they had me. But at one point, maybe it was before my mother passed away. Her mother passed away. So she said, my mother told me that I should never tell anybody, but we're Jewish, and that I'm Jewish, and that my mother's name was Chana. That was her name. And how your Rebbe knew this, I have absolutely no idea, because nobody knows it. I didn't tell it to my husband, didn't tell anyone. So it was revealed that she was a Jew. And she wrote into the Rebbe, and she had a miraculous healing, whatever the thing was. But even more, her true identity was revealed. How the Rebbe could possibly know a thing like that? That's the idea of what a Rebbe is. The Rebbe, that's what we said. Moses reveals everything that's hidden, brings from the hidden worlds what's under this the Red Sea and splits the sea to reveal everything. Everything is revealed. Have a good day with Mashiach now.